We ain't going out there and dropping any takes at the beginning of this video. We're just talking about what was said. Because when it comes to Connor McDavid, Edmonton Oilers captain, generational superstar, and arguably Mr. Second Place in hockey lore, this is a guy who is in the final, potentially, year of his time with the Edmonton Oilers, depending on what happens and depending on whether or not the Oil can prove to this guy that the Oilers are worth playing for. Because earlier this week, we had that golf tournament going on in, I believe it was in Ontario, and Connor McDavid had some pretty interesting things to say about the state of the Oilers. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this was not the same golf tournament where McDavid said that Gavin McKenna is going to have a lot on his plate as a Toronto Maple Leaf. I know Sid Seixeiro had a really big rant about that, or not rant, but just kind of a strong opinion about that comment. But it seems like McDavid said a number of things that got certain people feeling certain types of ways. Because Connor McDavid spoke out about the Edmonton Oilers and one of the biggest trades that they made earlier this summer. The Darnell Nurse trade with the San Jose Sharks, wherein the Oilers received themselves a prospect and Shakir Mukhamadullin in exchange for the overpaid, overplayed Darnell Nurse. Zach Sharp, Mukhamadullin, Darnell Nurse, that's it. That's the trade. No salary retained, no nothing. McDavid said this: he is extremely disappointed to lose Darnell Nurse. Oh boy, what a thing to go out there and say, eh? He also, for what it's worth, praised the new Oilers additions. Now, McDavid, when you look at the clip, he's feeling it, man. This guy, Captain Serious, we say Jonathan Toews is that guy. Connor McDavid might just be the new one here. But McDavid does say, obviously, it's so disappointing to lose someone like Darnell. We know that McDavid and Darnell Nurse, they grew up in the system together. Nurse was drafted 2013, 7th overall, did not make the Oilers as a full-time player until Connor McDavid's rookie year, 2015-16. So both Nurse and McDavid came onto the team at the same time. Obviously, we understand there's a good connection there, but McDavid, he's going out there in the media. He ain't hiding it at all. He's like, yeah, I'm really disappointed to lose out on someone like Darnell Nurse. Even though we understand why the guy got traded. He's making $9.25 million a year. He is nowhere near a $9.25 million caliber defenseman. And he's a guy that was just clogging up too much money on an inferior decor as one of the top paid, top played guys on said decor. He just wasn't good enough. Let's go out there and read some of the replies here. You might want to reword what you're disappointed with. The trade or the request to leave the team, you captain? Are you trying to win or make more golf buddies? Nurse has probably cost you the closest chances you'll get at winning the Stanley Cup. What in the world is he gonna say? Yeah, get that trash overpaid moron off this team. Thank the heavens. Deep down, Slip says, Connor McDavid knows the Oilers are a much better team without that anchor. Dude scored more goals on the Oilers last year than he did on the opposing teams. The worst version of an Oilers team in the last 4 years, pitchforks by Christmas. Hey, we will see, eh? We will see. He sure looks and sounds excited. This guy truly is the most boring interview in all of sports. Yeah, I love that comment. It's pretty sarcastic, eh? Now, in order to help us out with actually what's going on here, let's go to this article posted by Gabriel Sammy on, oddly enough, MontrealHockeyFanatics.com. Yeah, the Habs guys went out there and made a piece about this. But they wrote about how McDavid is extremely disappointed by losing out on Darnell Nurse. I'm extremely disappointed to see that happen, McDavid told TSN when asked about losing one of his longest tenured teammates. It's disappointing to lose someone like Darnell and the other guys. That's a part of the business, I guess. It's hard to put into words what Nursey meant to me, to the entire group, and everyone in Edmonton. Now, it's funny because there were similar things said about Evander Kane, were there not? Like, yeah, the player may be good on the ice, whatever, not that great on the ice, but it seems like the Edmonton Oilers have actually had a pretty good track record of guys establishing themselves in the community, especially. So that's one positive you can say that Darnell Nurse was able to bring to the Oilers. Obviously, there wasn't much that he brought on the ice, but off the ice, in the locker room, obviously that is something that we can't quantify by dollars and years. The Oilers didn't stop with Nurse. Jack Roslovic, Cal Pickard, and Adam Henrique also left during an aggressive summer overhaul following Edmonton's first-round playoff exit. Matthew Joseph, Ryan Shea, Freddie Anderson, and Devin Levi were brought in, while Mike Babcock took over behind the bench. McDavid acknowledged the upside of those changes, saying he was excited about the new coach and Edmonton's additions. Still, his reaction to Nurse's departure carried far more weight. The clip shows McDavid pausing before answering, then speaking with a tight expression as he stresses how much Nurse meant to the room. Edmonton has changed its coach, goalie depth, supporting cast, and blue line. The next challenge is making sure those moves don't weaken the trust surrounding its captain. McDavid remains committed after signing a 2-year extension, but his message was unmistakable. Management's attempt to reshape the roster came at a personal cost. Now Mike Babcock must turn a disrupted locker room into a contender before disappointment becomes the story of Edmonton's season. And potentially, McDavid's last dance. We already made a video about this earlier in the week, but with the idea floating around that, hey, if Connor McDavid and the Oilers are not able to get things done, this guy could be leaving by the time 2027 starts. This guy could be out of the door if the Edmonton Oilers do not prove that they are good enough to try to win with. It's not like the last dance. The Bulls won back-to-back-to-back gosh darn rings. The Oilers have barely even won once. They made the finals twice in a row, but then again, things didn't work out in their favor, and Connor McDavid being Mr. Second Place doesn't add any more optimism to that situation. Mr. Second Place because it's like, hey, he was the OHL playoff MVP despite the fact that he ended up losing in the OHL finals to the Oshawa Generals and Cole Castles. He was the Conn Smythe winner despite losing in the finals to the Florida Panthers. He was the Olympic MVP despite the fact that he ended up losing in the gosh darn gold medal game to Team USA. This guy just continues to win awards for non-championship teams. And if 2026, 2027 brings more of the same, seems like he could be out. Who really knows? But one thing's for sure, heading into this season, Connor McDavid potentially already feeling a little bit disgruntled because of the fact that Darnell Nurse is out. He's disappointed that his buddy Darnell was traded away to San Jose. And I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this update on Connor McDavid? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.